Hi, I'm Spencer. Welcome to the Reunion Hub podcast. I'm going to take this off. This is my very first time doing something like this. It's taken a lot of years to get here. I want to welcome you for coming here for the one or two that are actually going to see this. We got to get started, right? So the the whole theme of this podcast, the whole theme of this show, this live stream, the Reunion Hub is just coming back home to yourself. This is about men coming together where we definitely feel scattered out there, feeling like the rigors of trying to keep up with the Joneses and provide and all those things. And with so many distractions and things going on, we can feel like we're just like spread out all over the place. So, what this podcast is about and what this show is about is really tapping back in. And you and I just got to work on like discovering what is important to us and get back to that innate wisdom inside of us. It's like a coming home, just getting back into union with yourself. Um, so that's what it's all about. And for years, it's taken me from the thought process of thinking of doing something like this to actually doing it. This is me not being perfect. And this idea of perfection, it's not necessarily something to achieve for. It's more of a mental illness. It's been like that for me. So I'm going to just focus on the progress and continue doing the work here too. I am still learning. Um, I've been coaching for over 12 years now. I've been teaching yoga for close to 10. I currently work as a health coach, helping people through metabolic disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity. And in my private work too, I'm really working with men. That's kind of my passion is working with men, helping them really design the second half of their life to where they have greater mental clarity of what they want to do, that they feel like they're in charge of designing the life that they want to lead. Um, and I've felt like a fraud for years in doing this work because this is something that I've really wanted to do. I wanted to design my own life, and I felt like I was out of control. I didn't feel like I could turn towards my own mental health, my personal health. But it wasn't until I started doing work and just let go of this idea of perfection and needing to be perfect that I was able to roll up the sleeves and just get down to it. And this is me just being me in front of you, and I'm here to take some information that I have, kind of share that, and I want to take questions from you. I want to know what lights you up. What are you looking forward to in the second half of your life, moving forward? So, coffee. I brought some coffee back from South Africa. Both my partner Adele and I brought some back. We just got back from visiting there. Uh, I definitely recommend going down there and grabbing yourself a kilo to bring back. Okay, so this is again. I'm not here to give you all the answers. I'm going to do my best to give you everything I got, and we'll just kind of see where any of all this lands. But don't take this as definitely advice or medical advice or anything that's going to get me sued. Just take this with a grain of salt. If you have questions, like hit me up, let me know what's going on here with you too. But I want to set the tone here for the outline, what's going on too. um, Again, I've been doing this work for a number of years. I've traveled to a lot of different places, lived in Europe, lived in Tokyo, studied yoga in India. As you see on my YouTube channel, I've been doing a lot of yoga videos. I enjoy it, but one thing that I really wanted to do is just get up here and just speak from the heart and just go through, kind of process a lot of the things that I've gone through here too, and take in those questions from you as well. um, I think the biggest thing for me is that this needing to be perfect and to present as a professional. So this is me being imperfect and just kind of just digging right in. um, I'm I'm definitely not an expert in all areas of life. I really am innately curious on the process of change and how we can become a better version of ourselves and getting back to who we are. Um, that inner eye, the person that observes our life, sitting back in the movie chair and watching life as it happens through our eyes. I've definitely screwed up before. I've stumbled. I've learned. I've picked up a lot of this wisdom. I've earned a lot of this wisdom and the screw ups, and a lot of those stories are going to be coming out here too. So, again, I'm just deeply curious about all the truths. I'm deeply curious about what you've been going through, and I want you to be able to share that with me. And so that's what this show is definitely all about. So, why this podcast exists, and I'm going to go. This is my first time in StreamYard, so I'm learning that too. Getting over some allergies too. I don't know. It's spring here in Idaho, where I'm at in Boise, and getting a lot of that going on. So I'm sorry if that happens. If get too wrapped up in that. Anyway, so again, the big thing is here is like feeling scattered. You know, there we live in an age to where there's just so much information that it can make your head spin. Especially if we don't know where we're going or don't have our lives designed the way that we want them, we're typically going to be living our lives for somebody else. That was me completely, and I still get caught up in this with YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video of taking in so much content. And it can lead you down one path and another. I mean, just with diet alone, I was vegan for 14 years until recently. I've been working with this company to help me take a look at my blood sugar, and I realized that I was pre-diabetic. So I had to switch some things around, and I actually completely flipped and went animal-based keto, then did carnivore for a little while. And then I started watching these other influencers and reading all this stuff, like eating butter, like it's good for the heart, and and then like plants are poisonous. And then on the other side of the aisle with veganism, it's like meat's gonna kill you, and you know, meat will bind you up, and you'll never be able to poop again, and all different kinds of things. There's this back and forth across the aisle, and again, you can just drive yourself crazy, like I did, trying to find your way, but it wasn't until I made the switch. I've settled into something towards more animal based. Just me personally, I feel a lot better. I'm in a great place metabolically. I have a lot more energy. I'm clearer headed. Anyway, I bring that up because again, once the algorithm figures out what you kind of like, it's going to throw at you all kinds of information to lead you down a rabbit hole, and you could get stuck in there. And that's the last thing that we want to do. You need to be able to pull yourself out of that and still take a look around and what works for you. I've finally finding out what works for me, because I can have quiet time for myself, going out for walks, taking these headphones out a little bit too, and just listening to your breath, coming back to the self there too, to ask yourself those questions. What do I need in this moment? What helps me feel safe in this moment? And then kind of that inner voice, that heart voice, begins to talk to you, and that's a great feeling of contentment. So getting pulled in 1,000 different directions is easy this day and age with just social media alone, and then the advertisements is like everything that we've ever desired is on sale. And it's like the marketing people out there, they're taking our self-esteem away and then selling it back to us at a premium. So, and it creates a lot of confusion. So that's a big thing too, is coming back to ourselves is going to eliminate a lot of the confusion. Christ, have you went and tried to just go buy toothpaste? Look at all the options that are there for just toothpaste or dog food. You kid me? I got a dog. And like, how do you pick dog food? You just had to basically look at the wrapper and then make sure, oh, here's a nice matte finish. You can tell this is a quality product. There's that shiny gloss like paper on the outside of it. It's not like you can taste dog food and go, this one is a little bit acidic on the palate. I don't think that he would agree with this. Anyway, there's a lot of different choices. There's so many ways to get confused out there. Dog food alone. So you don't even need a dog to understand how confusing that life can be out there. So it's important that we get real clear and we find our purpose through doing the work and getting back to ourselves. And another thing is that we're feeling like disconnected. I know I've felt that way. You can feel lonely. We're working through a loneliness epidemic right now. And the Surgeon General from the previous administration said that it was as just as bad, as just as unhealthy as smoking, up to 4 cigarettes a day. And so it's important to connect with other people, feeling good within ourselves, and developing a relationship with yourself, and so you don't feel lonely. It's where you can still have solitude and be totally cool with it. And it's taken me a long time to come back to myself and accept parts of myself that I used to discard, thinking I'm not perfect. You know, so that gets into a lot of shadow work that I've been doing and still really love looking deeper into, is coming back to those parts of myself that I used to like shun and have shame about. Now I'm looking to turn towards those in all areas of my life, in my teens and my 20s and my 30s and through the dark times, and finding the gold in that, in the dark. Now that's where you find the gold, is in the dark caverns. It's also where you find mushrooms, and you possibly the remote. You might find it in there too. Um, so when you can turn towards that darkness in yourself, when I've done that here too, I mean, definitely feel like a sense of empowerment, because you have your choice of the life you want to live. You can start accepting yourself and say, well, I've definitely made mistakes, but that doesn't mean that I'm a mistake. And that's the difference between making mistakes and feeling shame. When you're feeling shame, you feel like I'm a problem, instead of saying I had a mistake and I've learned from it. So those are things that I'm continuing to come back to. And for a lot of years, uh, God, dude, so many years of trying to numb myself because of the pain, trying to forget, because we compartmentalize these bad things that we may have done and try to chuck them in the storage unit in the mind. And that comes out as numbing behaviors. And I've numbed it in a lot of different ways: the drugs, the alcohol, sex, overeating. That was a big thing for me as well. Uh, and when I was in the moment and doing those things, that you don't really remember your pain for a while, until you come out of that state of ecstasy, whatever that is, and you wake up the next day and you had to numb back up again, because you're building a stockpile of shit that keeps piling up, and it keeps like overcrowding your head, and pretty soon it has to get up in front of your face. But if you can't deal with it, like me, you got to keep taking substances and eating and whatever. It's PG anyway. So it's not until that you can kind of realize what you're doing, and what I was doing, for me to realize is like, I got to just be able to sit with this and be okay with it somehow, and sit with that discomfort. So um, we're all in this together, like trying to seek some kind of comfort. And I think we could find that, rather than numbing, I'm finding that through deeper connection. So why I'm here, wanting to connect with you. Um, and we can't really change until we have a confrontation, with that issue in front of us. If that issue looks like a parent, if it looks like a child, one of your buddies, you need to confront it in order to have some type of change. So for me, this is me confronting my fears of just putting myself out there, talking. And maybe one of you or two of you or a few of you, this might resonate, and then you can talk to me about the shadows that you're currently dealing with and facing, and how this numbing right now, that whatever you're doing, we need to find the source of why we're numbing. And that's the healing point right there. When we can confront that thing that we're running from, and confront it head on. It's difficult, no doubt, but that's the work. That's where we need to do. So we're definitely here to investigate what that is. So finding our way back home, having that reunion with yourself. Uh, Again, I don't know if you've ever felt this before. I've definitely felt this under the influence of mushrooms. But now I don't need those anymore. But now I can really feel it to where you feel like you have this inner knowing without even having to talk about it. You have this inner knowing of understanding your own personal nature, how things are going to unfold in front of you in conversation if you just sit back and you just listen. um, we all have this wisdom, we're born with it, and so we're just looking to find it. Again, we've been dealing with so many to-dos and priorities that it's hard to get back. It's definitely hard to get back to it and just find what we like to do. And this is what makes creativity so important as well, like journaling, writing, painting, making music, um, finding a craft, and to where you're not really thinking as much and you're getting back to yourself, just doing something for the sake of doing it. Finding a typical, like a flow state. Um, that book Flow by the guy's name, who no one can spell it, but it's pronounced Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, Polish guy, who came up with the theory of flow, finding that perfect spot of being involved deep in an activity to where you're not necessarily thinking exactly how of every little detail to do it, but you're not so bored to where you're coming out of it. That zone, whether it's somebody playing music, like say playing the piano. I get this when I play records. Some people feel that when they're cooking, perhaps when they're singing, or dancing, doing something, or even welding, if that's your thing. um, Finding that flow state is a fantastic way to really get back into union with yourself, finding those things that really interest you and light you up to where, again, you just find that sweet spot. It's like hitting a baseball right on the sweet spot of the bat. That's the feeling you're looking for. Um, so that's a great way to just get back into yourself here too. Yeah, just what I do with my coaching, and what I love, working with guys, is just kind of getting in a conversation and just finding out what they want more of inside of their life. And um, I've worked with a coach before who's helped me kind of with this idea of conversations, that we're all looking to connect through our conversations, connect through our shared experiences. So getting in union with other people, I like to find out what they want more of and where they've had that before. And then I like to continually ask, and I want to ask you, questions of how you were able to overcome challenges, because I want to learn from your experiences. I don't want to be here up here teaching as if I know your experience, because I don't. But I want to get to understand that, and I want to meet you at a level. I want to be able to connect with you. So, what is it that you're wanting more of inside of your life? And where have you had that before? What was your role in getting that? And what improved because of your involvement? And if you know that, like if you've had that issue before and have worked through it before, what's possible for the future? um, I can learn from that, and you can learn from asking questions like that as well. And that's how we can work on connecting and getting in union with ourselves. I have this method that I've been working on, and the acronym of union, and why the Reunion Hub exists, of getting to where you can understand your nature, and inviting that inside to observe it and to nurture it. It's to understand your nature, invite, observe, and nurture. So getting to understand who you are, what you like to do, what lights you up, you know, understand how is that true to you. And then once you understand that, we take the action step of inviting that in and then trying that on, and then to observe what's happening within the body. Where do you feel comfort? Where do you feel discomfort? And then we're learning to nurture that with practices each and every day, um, that bring that out. They get you in union with yourself. So if you even have a small practice of, if that's journaling, if that's going out for a walk, getting in union with yourself, or having a conversation with a loved one, even if it's a half hour, you can go about your day and do your other business. You work your job, perhaps you're having a hard time with, continue on with your kids. As uh, you can go about your day, but at least you've had that moment to where you've been in contact with your true self. You've been in contact with yourself in a calm manner, in a creative manner, to where you're connecting with that inner you. So it's important. Which is all about understanding our nature. So understanding your nature, inviting that into yourself, observing what happens when you start in embodying that, and then finding ways to nurture that for long-term healing, long-term growth moving forward. And I invite you to really embrace the imperfections. Imperfections, that's the good stuff. It's not being perfect. It's not about being perfect. Perfect, again, is more of a mental illness than something to aim for, than a virtue. There's no perfect circle. There's nothing perfect, but we can strive for excellence. I think yoga really teaches that. Learning in India, that was one of the things that was taught to me, is like yoga is the attainment of excellence in each moment you're aware. I feel that excellence is attainable. I feel you can achieve excellence through trying, giving it your best, most excellent shot. Be excellent to each other, as Bill and Ted would say. So I feel that is better than perfection. Again, perfection, that doesn't sound fun. But being excellent, giving your all, doing the best you can in that moment, you're aware that you have that moment to be excellent, is rad or excellent. So that's helping me, like, trying to break free. I want to break free from the myth of perfection. This is a pretty nice segue. My first one coming into this show. Man, I've had so many fears of getting to this point and doing this right here. Of getting my sound right, getting the video right, even my freaking background, like the lighting. And I've, for years, I mean, probably since 2016, I've been telling people I've been wanting to do this. And it's only till now that I'm actually really doing it and being vulnerable and trying to be myself. Man, what's been going on? I want to be able to unpack that with you. And I can't do that in one show, but maybe over the period of several, we can do it together. And I want to be able to unpack that idea of perfection for you. Again, it's difficult. There's a lot of fear around being imperfect, showing your flaws. But again, as you read in all the books, they say, hey, that's a strength. That's a strength to show your vulnerabilities. And perhaps it is. I know it is, but it still is uncomfortable. But again, we got to just lean into that discomfort and just keep doing the work and get better at doing the work. So what is it that you're feeling vulnerable? Where is it in your life that you're feeling vulnerable? Where do you think that you need to be perfect? Like the perfect dad? That's one that's plagued me for a long time. I've not been the perfect dad. I'm just not. I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I don't think I was ready for it. But it's just something that I've continued to learn and to grow from and learn a lot about, and to humble myself to that process. Being a good dad is difficult. You want to be a good dad. You try to not screw up, but we're human, and we've all had moments where we thought we could do better. So that's been something I continue to work with, and trying to be a better dad. That's me trying to be a better coach, trying to be a even better person, but just fall in love with the process of becoming. Not too worried about the past, mindful of it. How do I learn from it? How do I stay present in the moment right now? And how am I moving forward? But perfection over time paralyzed me. I mean, it's just with this show, with this wanting to make any sort of changes, it's really interesting, isn't it? Those things that we know we need to do and we just like freeze. It's like a nervous system response. Some people fight it, some people flee from it. For me, I stayed frozen for a lot of years in carbonite. I've only seen Star Wars a few times, so that was my best impression of Harrison Ford there. It's a solo impression because I did it myself. These are the jokes. Yeah, I get you. So, man, I think it's really important that we just, all of us, man, just to focus on the progress. How do we progress forward? How do we learn? How do we integrate this stuff? There's a lot of topics I'm going to bring up on this show, everything from metabolic health, emotional health, mental well-being, mental agility, mental gymnastics, mental yoga. Okay. Anyway, I'm interested in a lot of topics. I'm going to bring a lot of these up, and I want to take your questions on this. I want to understand how you are working through stuff out there. And I think the biggest idea, how we can break free from this idea of perfection, is just getting down to action. Action is going to break free of that, help you break free of that petrification, just that freezing all the time, and just getting ourselves involved in practices. Action is really going to help us unfreeze. So this is all about exploration. We want to be able to integrate this information. I'm going to bring up a lot of information in the show, but I don't want this to be another show where it's an information dump. Again, this is about pausing, slowing down, turning inward, and acting from that wisdom, getting back in touch with it. And we don't need a shitload of to-dos in order to do that. We just need a little bit of silence, courage, calm, clarity, in order to connect with that. So this is your invitation to come to the show, share with me what you're going through. I'm always happy to share myself, my screw ups, but I want to be able to learn from those, and I don't want to do this show in a vacuum. I'm looking forward to taking into your chats. I'll display them here on the ticker. I'll look this up. This community was really inspired by my favorite sports writer, Grant Cohn, who has I'm a 49ers fanatic. That's a little bit about me. I've since kind of let go of being a true fan. And now I definitely just listen to Grant as an influencer. He's extremely funny, and he uses StreamYard, and he's really helped me understand the work that goes into doing something like this, and just to get up there and do it. And I like seeing his community grow over time and people contributing their thoughts and their ideas. And I want to create something similar like this. Instead of it being football, this is about being the game of life. And I know you all have ideas out there too that we can all learn from and share. And this is called Stress Putty. I got this this Christmas from my partner that got me this. It helps me kind of, if any of you kind of flail around with playing with keys and stuff like this, I find this really helps me. So I want the show to help you and find something to squeeze and play around with to help you out, to think of ideas, to think of questions, and to give those back to the community here too. My quest here is to help you get back to yourself, to build a reunion, all of us coming together as a hub. Right? And I want you to be able to speak on things, so you can say that you spoke in the hub. You spoke in the hub. And these conversations go around and round. And anyway, it's a wheel funny joke. There's some bad puns here in this show too, just letting you know. So my idea here is just to give you insights so you can explore yourself, go a little bit deeper. And I want to be able to provide you some practices that you can take with you and use like that very day, whether it's breathing techniques or journaling or exercise work or flexibility work. Ideas to open up conversations, be a better conversationalist too. Just being the best version of a man that you can be, but that's one thing. But I feel that being the best version of yourself, man, woman, whatever, coming back to yourself, that's the most important thing. So my work is to help you really, men, especially in midlife, reclaim their vitality, their clarity of purpose. What are your purpose? Why you wake up each day? What is your choice? What do you want to be doing? I just want to help work with you and condition your mind, your body, your energy into daily practices that you can use to up-level your life and to have and truly feel contentment. And that's what I'm going to continually do too. So in order to get there, you are encouraged to participate. If I haven't came across like that, too often. I just want you to be able to leave questions. I want you to tell me stories. I want to learn from you. The more you share, the more I feel like sharing, because when you share something that I can relate to, then I'll think of a story or time where I've screwed up that I can share too. Um, it can be difficult talking into a vacuum and talking to yourself, kind of like what I'm doing now. But um, I feed off of you because you inspire me to continue on, and hopefully this inspires you to generate some thought for yourself as well. Um, I I want to be able to connect. I have my YouTube channel. Please leave me a comment. I have my face. This is going live on my Facebook too. Just reach out, comment to me. Also, you can reach me here. I'm gonna create a quick banner. This is gonna have that banner here. I'm gonna show it. That's spencermarkcoaching.com. You can go ahead and email me. Uh, and I'm gonna leave you my email too. Like, this is so cool. And that's my email. Feel free to email me there. Um, and ask me your questions. What questions do you have for me here too? I work one-on-one with clients. Definitely, I work with all people, but I think right now is like the most important thing that is like working with midlife men, really helping them design their life, especially their second half of their life. Guys that are feeling stuck, feeling that are scattered, confused, don't know really what they want to do. They know you want to do something. You know something's missing, but together we investigate that and find what that is. Is that getting your health back on track? Is that losing weight, getting healthy metabolically, building a flexibility practice, a strength training practice? You want to age with grace. You want to be able to have mindfulness practices to increase your mental health and well-being. Your emotional health, improving your relationships, especially improving that relationship with yourself. So we work deep, and we bring the results with you. Um, and if you want to just come here and continually check out and get to know me and ask these questions, by all means, let's do that too. But again, this is something I love. I am a geek about personal development, and I'm always learning. And I want to be able to share what I learn. That way, I can learn more. My cup filleth over, and it's not here until I can come here to a place like this and empty that I can go back into the well and learn some more, So that's that's the deal. And the sign off here. Now you're always supposed to have a sign off. So the sign off here is just to look, and I'm reading this because I'm not completely perfect, right? So if this resonates with you, if you're tired of numbing, if you're tired of distraction, if you're ready to find clarity, contentment, and purpose, then you are here. You are home. Welcome home to the reunion. Okay. This is the Reunion Hub. That's such a great, I'm going to have a better closing line. But I think the big thing here is just come home to yourself, man. I'm here. Looking forward to your comments. I'm looking forward to the next show. Next show is, let's see, what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about mastering your metabolic health for men in midlife. And I think this is a very big topic for me. This is something that I work with every day with people. I'll call people from across the country, helping them get a handle on their metabolic health, getting a handle on their food, on their activity, on their stress. So I'm looking forward to doing that show. Thank you again for being here for this first show. Looking forward to seeing some more. Take care.